and Damani McKinney, your productivity expert. Today, I'm here to talk to you about paper. Paper is a fabulous invention. It's lightweight, we can carry it around, we can crumple it up, we can smooth it out, we can get it wet, dry it out, we can roll it up and store it. As we know, we can store it for thousands of years. We use paper to share information, to hold information we need to succeed. Now, one could make the jump that if all you need is the information to succeed, then you don't need paper. Hence the idea of a paperless office. Unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that the paperless office is the myth of the decade. Now, paper consumption per capita in the U.S. tripled from 1940 to 1980, 40 years. We tripled it again in 1980 to 1990 in just 10 years. Clutter. Paper clutter. Now, paper itself is not the problem. Paper is just a symptom of the problem. Paper clutter is postponed decisions. Paper management is making decisions. Paper clutter is postponed decisions. Paper management is making decisions. So, we're going to have a four-step process in order to help us practice paper management and make decisions. So we have 4 steps. The first one is to establish a location for the essential paper. We want to eliminate the unnecessary paper, avoid generating unnecessary paper, and to create a method for easy retrieval of paper. So let's go back to the first one, to establish a location for essential paper. In order to establish the location for our important paper, we have three things that we need to work with. The first one is we need a permanent center for our paper. Think of it as food. In the kitchen, you have cold food that's stored in the refrigerator. Dry food is stored in the pantry. We want to use that same concept with our paper. We have action files that we need handy, and we have reference files that we don't need to actually work on, but they will give us the information that we need in order to do our job. The next step is the work center with the right tools. We have a desk, telephone, filing cabinet, and computer. What other tools do you need to do your job successfully? The third element to creating that location, the perfect location for essential paper, trash can. You need a wastebasket. Recycle, if you can recycle in your area, you can have both. You want a larger wastebasket because the bigger your wastebasket, the more you will throw away. Think about it. If you have a teeny little trash can, balled up, completely full, overspilling with paper, the likelihood of you using that trash can is very slim because you're going to go to throw it away and go, oh, I can throw it away later. Put it right back on your desk. So you want a larger trash can to encourage you to throw away so you can clear your paper and follow through with making decisions. So the next step was to eliminate the unnecessary paper. 5 questions that you want to ask yourself so that you can process through the paper. As you pick up that piece of paper, do I really need to keep this? Where should I keep it? How long should I keep it? How can I find it? And what's the worst thing that can happen if I throw it away? 5 questions. Let me repeat those for you. Do I really need to keep this? If so, where do I keep it? How long should I keep it? Length of time. And how can I find it later when I need that information? And the last question is, what's the worst thing that can happen if you throw it away? The 4th step, avoid generating the unnecessary paper. Control your print button. Do you need that email printed out? Is it okay to live on the computer? Do you really need those catalogs, or do you actually do most of the searching online now? You want to avoid generating unnecessary paper, whether it's refusing paper to come into your office or controlling your print button. The last step is you want to create a method for easy retrieval of paper. You want a filing system. Now, a filing system is composed of 2 major parts. The 2 major parts are action and reference. The action is anything that you have to do something to that makes an action on your part. So an action actually has two steps. One is project action. Those actions are pieces of paper or pieces of information that have multiple steps. For example, if you're creating a marketing plan, and in that marketing plan, there's 3 or 4 different things you need to do. That's a project. That would be stored together. The next type of action that we have is permanent action. Those are things where the action itself is permanent. Like, for example, to pay the bills. You're always going to pay the bills every month. So that's a permanent action. Now the bills, or what needs to be paid, would change. So permanent actions would be to pay the bills, to make phone calls, to put on your calendar, to look things up, to write an email. Those are examples of permanent action. So we have the action side. The other side that we have is the reference side. And in the reference side, we have 3 main steps. The first one is the important reference that you need on a regular basis to do your job. Those are reference items that you don't have to do anything to, but share information and you cannot throw away. So the reference is close by, the important reference. The next reference level is information that is needed but doesn't have to be in your office. It can be either in the hallway, it can be on the other side of your office. And then the third element is archival information. That's stuff that you can't throw away but you don't need. It can be in a box, it can be stored in the closet, it can be stored in a storage unit down in the basement of your building. Those 4 items, to establish a location of essential paper, to eliminate the unnecessary paper, to avoid generating unnecessary paper, and to create a method so that you can retrieve the paper you do need. Paper clutter is postponed decisions. Make a decision and move on what's important. Thank you for listening. I'm Damani McKinney.